Everybody has watched TV, movies, sports, and politics and seen those celebrities, but have you heard their real stories? Every episode on Celebrity Encounters podcast, we interview real people just like you sharing their own personal celebrity encounters. And with a little storytelling help from us and a few surprises from here in Las Vegas, this is Celebrity Encounters Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Celebrity Encounters Podcast. We're your host. I'm Dolly Parton. This is Johnny Cash.
Howdy.
Partner.
That's right. Tip of the hat.
Welcome back.
Yeah. So I'm still John Rodolini.
I'm Haley Brooks.
Yep. We're so glad you came back. And if it's your first time joining, welcome.
Hello. Thanks for joining us. Someone else is joining us.
Oh, hey, we have a new friend this week. Hi, friend. What's your name?
Minta.
Hi,
Minta.
Minta.
Excellent. Everybody say hi, Minta.
Hi, Minta.
Hi,
Do it.
Minta.
All right, perfect.
Minta, where are you joining us from?
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Love that place.
Oh, wow.
We're there too.
Yeah. Are you in the same building we are?
The call is coming from in the house.
She is in the house.
So, Minta, thank you for joining us on Celebrity Encounters Podcast. Don't know if you know this. We talk about celebrity encounters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
We make a podcast of it.
But I heard that you have a very famous celebrity encounter.
Do tell.
I have.
Who was it?
It was Tom Cruise.
Ooh, super topical as Mission Impossible Final Reckoning now in theaters and soon to be on your favorite streaming platforms. Go check it out on the largest format possible.
You like Mission Impossible?
You could say that. Minta, do you like Mission Impossible?
I do, but I haven't seen the last one, the one before Reckoning. I haven't seen that one or this one, so I got to catch up.
All right.
But you have seen Tom Cruise.
Oh, yes.
Tell us what? Put me in the scene.
Yeah. Is there a stunt involved?
Because the two of you are both young enough that you probably don't remember, but there was a really hot nightclub back in the day in Las Vegas called the Shark Club.
That is such a cool name.
The Shark Club. What was the era? What was the decade?
I want to say late 80s.
Oh, what a time! Vegas in the late 80s at the Shark Club? Was it in a hotel?
Huh?
Was it in a hotel? Was it in one of the casinos?
Believe it or not, this was back when Las Vegas still had nightclubs that were separate from the Strip. It was
Cool.
on the Strip, but kind of set back by the, what's the name of the hotel? By the Tropicana, kind of.
Okay.
And it was highly affiliated with UNLV and the Running Rebels and Jerry Tarkanian.
Oh, that's
There
why
we
it's
go.
the Shark.
Sharks. Okay.
Tark the
Yeah.
Shark. So, you're at the Shark Club. Are there sharks at the Shark Club? I feel like there's like an underwater, you're
aquarium.
swimming.
Water, there
Blue
were
light.
tanks with smaller sharks, yes.
That is so cool!
Where is this?
Bring that back!
Yeah.
It was cool.
Hashtag Shark Club.
Yes. Well, you could probably look it up online because it's been closed for decades. But when it was open, it was a hot spot for sure.
That's so cool. You spent a lot of time at the Shark Club.
I did. And I used to go by
don't blame you.
myself all the time because that's the kind of younger person I was.
You never know who you're going to run into.
That's right. Could be Tom Cruise.
Yeah. So we're at the Shark Club. There's sharks swimming around. It's
Yep.
the late 80s. No one cares. There's no cell phones in
It's
sight.
Aquanet and unfiltered cigarettes.
Blue eyeshadow.
No, that was more of the 70s than the 80s.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. Sorry, I went too far back. Too far.
But the
Bring it
80s
back.
was neon.
Neon. Yeah.
Neon.
This was
On a day
bad.
glow.
The wearing the underwear over the leggings to the gym thing.
Yes, and
Yeah.
think Madonna.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Denim.
Denim.
Yeah.
All right, so where's Tom Cruise in this? We're at the
Well,
Shark Club.
actually, they were filming Rain Man in town.
Wow.
But it's funny because the week before I met Tom Cruise at the Shark Club, Barry Manilow was there. And when he came in, he had this huge entourage, all this security. It was obvious, it was him. And, he's like, look at me. And so nobody really thought anything of, Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman being in town.
Wow.
They were just afterthoughts.
Overshadowed by the Copacabana.
Yes, and since it was close to the Strip, but not on the Strip, and a hot spot, and Tom Cruise were about the same age, so he obviously would want to go out and do things. So that's how he ended up there.
I thought you were going to say he obviously would want to go out with you. That's what I really thought that the sentence was going.
Go Minta. Yeah.
Thank you for giving me that kind of confidence, Haley.
Oh, you're welcome. So was he walking by? Like, how did you see him? Like, where was he?
Well, actually, what happened, I had just really been noticing all of the impersonators here in Las Vegas, and I hadn't been. I've been here a couple of years by then, and so I saw him sitting at the bar by himself, and I thought he was an impersonator. I had no idea it was really him.
Sure.
So I walked up to him. I approached him and asked him to dance.
All right.
And?
And he said he wasn't much of a dancer, but he would be happy to buy me a drink.
Oh,
Gentlemen.
A man of his word, that's what he did. And we had a little chat while we were having our cocktail.
Tom Cruise bought you a drink.
During that chat is when I told him that I thought that he could make a lot of money here being a Tom Cruise impersonator.
No!
I really hope that just made him smile with the force of 1,000 suns.
He did. He got a good laugh out of it. And he said, "You really think I could make money doing it?" I said, "Well, you're a dead ringer. Absolutely."
And then were you like, "Hey, what's your name?" Tom.
Of course it is. How method of you, Tom.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So
And
did
you
he
know,
ever reveal that it like really was him?
You know, I knew I was really into movies and movie stars, read all the magazines and stuff. I knew he was in town, but because Barry Manilow had just been there with all that security, and usually when celebrities did come there, and they did go there frequently, they all had some sort of security with them or something that kind of tipped you off to, oh, this is somebody.
Yeah.
He was in there by himself. I mean, by himself, and had been sitting at the bar long enough for me to muster up the courage to go ask him to dance. So he was just chilling.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had a cocktail with the lead from Cocktail around the time that Cocktail would have, shortly after it would have come out, I would have imagined. So you mentioned that he could make a ton of money as a Tom Cruise impersonator, and he receives that warmly. What all did you talk about? Like, what topics were on the table while you're in cruise control?
You know, what's really funny is I can't remember that much. It was pretty innocuous, but, you know, just the usual banter that you have with somebody at a nightclub. And honestly, I don't remember 100%, but I think he actually did introduce himself as Tom. I think he did say his name was Tom, and probably some comment about, oh, how ironic, because you look just like Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Oh,
and just the usual chat when you have, you know, social activity at the bar.
Did you notice anything about his smile or jawline by chance?
This seems like it has a purpose.
This has a very
All
strong
right, Nancy
purpose.
Drew, let's
Was
see
there
what happens.
anything off?
Well, when he was doing Rain Man, it was the old Tom Cruise. So I don't know if he had any work done yet or not. But, you know, I believe he still had the nose. I think he still had the nose that he had, like in All the Right Moves and Risky Business, because once he became a mega star and really, you know, started like doing action movies and whatnot and doing all this crazy shit that we know him for now. Sorry, crazy stuff that we know him for now. He did look different.
Yeah. Okay. So do you know about the jawline thing?
No, I don't.
Okay. So Tom Cruise's smile, his jaw is off-centered. You will never look at him the same. Every single picture of him smiling and everything, his jawline is and over. His teeth don't match up.
Huh. Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a fun fact. There's
Did he have
fun
work
Tom
done?
Cruise fact.
He probably
I mean,
had work
God,
done.
sure, probably.
Yeah, I don't know though, because Tom Cruise is one of those people that doesn't seem to age.
Right.
True.
Like,
So he for sure got work done.
True. Good work.
No, he's to do stunts
Not
like he does
Sylvester
too. Like
Stallone
he's
work.
eating babies.
Or
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke work. Yeah, that's scary.
you mentioned or alluded to him doing his own stunts. We kicked off the episode with a shameless plug for Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. But if you did not know this, he does so many of his own stunts that in one of the Mission Impossibles, he's running, and Tom Cruise runs, jumps from one building to another, really does the jump. And as he's landing, he lands like chest kind of belly first on the edge of a building. And his foot comes out to kind of try and get traction on the building. He breaks his ankle, if I remember right, breaks his ankle on impact and has the presence of mind to go, oh, I'm going to be on the shelf for a while. Still pulls himself up the building. And the shot that's in the movie where he gets up and hobbles off camera is him having just broken his ankle and finishing the shot. True pro.
Consummate professional.
Yeah, why not just let a stuntman do it though? You're taking someone's job, man.
I don't know though, because that seems also really like I'm terrified of heights. I can fly and stuff, but it seems really fun.
You can fly.
Sometimes I can.
I think it's the adrenaline. I think it's the adrenaline.
Yeah.
Just like the
If I'm
Jack
wearing my
Reacher
glasses.
movies. I mean, he really enjoys doing this crazy crap now. I mean, it's what he's known for.
Yeah.
Is it James Corden, the British
Yeah.
talk show host?
Talk show host, yeah.
You see when they did that really amazing jump, they went up in this plane and they went higher than most people do when they do the parachute.
Skydiving.
High diving, whatever that is, skydiving.
Yeah.
But it requires special equipment, a mask, and he did it in a Mission Impossible, and people were questioning whether or not he really did it. So on James's show, he took him to do it with him. And he had the trainer there, and it was so funny because the host, I think he didn't realize that Tom Cruise was really going to expect him to do it. And he did it.
Wow.
It was really crazy because you saw the whole process from them, meeting at the airport, getting on the plane, going up, and you see the realization that, the talk show host is like, I'm going to have to actually do this shit. Yeah. And he did. He did it. I gave him his props.
That's wild.
You know what role I want to see Tom Cruise
is serious about his stunts.
Sure.
He's serious about a lot of things, that man.
Yes.
Sure, we're going to do the religion thing. Anyway,
yeah.
I want to see Tom Cruise. I think the perfect role for him, the one thing he has yet to do, live action, Shrek, Lord Farquaad.
See, I still want to see John Lithgow.
Come on, he's the ultimate short king.
Yes, he
It'd
is
be so
actually.
great.
'Cause
It'd be
he is
so
a
You
short
said it.
guy.
I did say
You
it.
said it, not
I'll
me.
say it again.
Yep.
So I know you want to see him as Lord Farquaad. I have a career goal, and it's on my list of gently unreasonable, but why
vision
not?
board?
Yeah, like the things that you go like, this is
Sure.
kooky. Like if I've got the opportunity, sure. I would love to do a movie with Tom Cruise, but I love hearing about the ways in which movie stars are really nice to people. And one of my favorite Tom Cruise stories, every year around the holidays, he's been doing this for years. He sends a bunch of people that he's close with, acquaintances, etc., this special cake.
Yeah.
This
I've heard that.
coconut cake. And it's like,
unbelievably good.
yeah, like what a cool old school movie star, like out of the blue, you get this beautiful package. What is this? Oh, this is from Mr. Tom Cruise. What is it? It's a cake.
It's the best cake
And
ever.
it's like his like people go, oh, someday I would love to get a Tom Cruise cake. Like it's just this special cake.
That's probably what
It
he gets
is.
the
I've heard that
drugs.
too. And again, like they say it's the best cake ever. And
And then they join
apparently,
Scientology.
If you receive a cake from him, then it means you're like part of his inner circle, part of the people that he pays attention to. which is also the other reason why it's so cool to get one.
I wonder how many cakes.
I haven't got one though. I don't know why I didn't receive my cake.
But you got a cocktail.
Not yet. Yeah.
I think that's better.
You know, to be fair, as you painted this beautiful picture of the Shark Club, still sounds so cool.
I wish I could have been there.
Yeah. I picture Tom Cruise from like Jerry Maguire with the big smile and the Ray-Bans. Like I'm just picturing that man sitting at the bar beaming as you walk up to tell him.
You'd make a killing as a Tom Cruise impersonator.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So can we I'm going to try and reel us all back. Yep. Pulling it back in. Going back into the Shark Club. Tell us more about how that evening goes on, that conversation, because something tells me that there might be a little more to this story.
Well, basically, I mean, we did have our little chat. Of course, that didn't take that long because it was just one cocktail, and I've always been a Cosmo girl, so you see, but not very big.
Yeah.
Sex and the City, I got you.
I ended up, we had a nice conversation. What was kind of cool though is I remember nobody else really kind of conglomerated or bunched around because sometimes when you recognize somebody or you think
sure.
Other people catch on and it's like, but back then it really wasn't like that. And in Vegas, we had so many celebrities that felt comfortable being around. Like I said, usually they would have some sort of security, but there were a lot of celebrity sightings back in the day. I mean, there were only so many nightclubs. Vegas was very different. They didn't have a nightclub in every casino. There were freestanding nightclubs, so you could end up being in a nightclub that was nowhere near the Strip. So you would go to, like the Sand Dollar Blues Lounge and run into like Robert Plant and things like that. So back then, and people loved coming to Vegas. Vegas, I think the Mafia was still around then too, which made a huge difference.
Still around.
Yeah, but, I miss their presence here because it was a whole different city.
Right.
About missing being
do
somewhere.
Crime together.
So being able to sit and have a conversation with him, not get mobbed, not have paparazzi. There were no reporters there, anything like that. And I think when they first got to town, there was probably some sort of, with the local news stations, they probably did cover it. It was on Entertainment Tonight, things like that. But it's not like now where with the social media and things like that. So we actually did have a full-on conversation for the whole cocktail. And if I recall correctly, shortly after our conversation, he did leave. So I didn't see him again. However, the other part to the story, John, is like I said, I was very much into Hollywood and movies and music. So I watched Entertainment Tonight religiously. And he happened to be on for an interview. I'm pretty sure it was Entertainment Tonight. One of those, the TV magazines or whatever.
Yeah.
Remember, they had a lot of them in the 80s, early 90s. So he was on one of those shows, and they were asking him, how do you like Las Vegas? How was it filming on location in Vegas? And he said, I love it because the anonymity there is great. And they were like, really? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I can go to the grocery store. I can, go out to dinner. He goes, I went to a club the other night. And this girl actually thought I was an impersonator. I'm Tom Cruise. I'm filming. And we sat and talked, and she had no idea who she was really talking to. He goes, so yeah, Vegas is awesome. I highly recommend it for any celebrities that just want to have, a good time like anybody else.
You made an impact on that man, and you were on Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
I want nothing more for you other than health, happiness, and longevity to get to see Tom Cruise again somewhere, hopefully for a cocktail, just to be able to deliver that. Hey, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but you could make a killing. And just see, something tells me he would remember that.
Or check in and be like, so how's that impersonator career working out?
Well, now he doesn't look that much like the Tom Cruise I knew and met then.
Okay.
So I don't know if he would pass as a back in the day Tom Cruise impersonator.
He can't even impersonate himself anymore.
He doesn't
He's
look
so
He
different.
still looks like him, but not like when he was younger before he did have work done. And we
Not
know
the couch jumping Tom Cruise.
Oh,
Huh?
that was a
Couch
good.
jumping
That was a
Tom
good
Cruise.
vertical.
Remember
too.
when
That
he was on Oprah?
Yeah, that was a stand to like the height of that couch is pretty high.
Oh,
recall-
what with
Yeah.
Katie? I'm in love with Katie. Yeah.
I love her.
You know, full stop. I think he had a bad rap for that because the guy's in love. You know, he wants to jump on the couch. I thought it was fun.
Didn't he like impersonate Katie Holmes?
Impersonate?
Impersonate.
Imprison.
He impersonated
Yes,
her.
he was in prison during his Scientology when we all really found out what he was up to behind the scenes. Yeah.
See?
I need to be educated.
You need to be a woman.
Post
What
show.
Scientology? You
No, not. Don't need to be educated there. No, so part of the Katie Holmes thing, I knew they were together, and then I knew they weren't. A lot of that was before I watched entertainment.
You need to watch
behind the
Entertainment
scenes.
Tonight.
Entertainment Tonight. If only I had my TV guide.
Oh my
That's it.
gosh, when was the last time you consulted a TV guide?
You know, that was another growing up thing. It was like, oh, I would love someday, like not to be famous, but it was like, oh, it'd be cool to be on the cover of TV Guide. Do they still
Yeah.
print TV guides? If they do, please leave it in the chat.
The Amish need something.
Well, that's the actor's Rolling Stone, actually, or it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cover a TV guide if you're an actor, and the cover of Rolling Stone if you're a musician.
So the Shark Club, is there a building that it is now, or is it like?
It was there for a long time, and then they raised it. They totally tore it down. You know, Vegas. We don't leave old buildings if they're not viable or we're not going to use them for something else. They're gone.
blow them up.
It's now
But
a
it was a
terrible
cool building
car
too.
wash.
You need to Google it and check it out because it was a very cool club. It was always busy, even on weeknights.
Wow.
Very successful nightclub, but then that trend of putting everything in a casino. We had a lot of freestanding movie theaters. Las Vegas was a totally different city back in the day. Everything was not encompassed in a hotel casino.
Yeah.
So you would go to the movies separately from the casino. So for those of us that lived here, you weren't forced to go into a casino for everything. Matter of fact, you didn't have to go hardly at all unless you had company or you really wanted to go see a show. All the shows were on the strip and at a casino, but you could go to the movie theater, you could go to a nightclub. There were a ton of nightclubs all over town. I mean, all over town.
That seems like a really kind of romantic version of Las Vegas to have all of these different places be destinations. And don't get me wrong, some of the mega clubs in the resorts are really neat, but it would be kind of cool to be like, hey, what are you doing? Why don't we all go to the Shark Club? Minta, thank you so much for taking us into the DeLorean to 1980s Las Vegas at the Shark Club and sharing your celebrity encounter with Mr. Tom Cruise with all of us.
Oh,
Thanks
it
for
was my
taking
pleasure.
us aboard.
That's right. Well, for the Celebrity Encounters podcast, please give a big round of applause whenever and wherever you are for our guest today, the lovely Minta.
Woo!
And until next time, the next time you're at the checkout and you hear the beep, remember all the fun you could have on Supermarket Sweep. For the Celebrity Encounters podcast, I'm John Rodolini.
I'm Haley Brooks.
See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in today, and if you enjoyed our show, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on all your favorite platforms.